Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto time traveled to meet his parents and changed Konoha's future? Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Rubbing his temples in exasperation, Hiruzen watched as the Anbu guards milled around the basement of the Hokage Tower. They were bringing in plush cushioned chairs and setting in just in front of his desk. Won't the two of you at the very least exchange friendly glances? Hiruzen sighed. Jiraiya smiled sheepishly. Tsunade huffed in annoyance as she glared at the white-haired man. They were both already sitting on two of the chairs when the opening of the door caught their attention. Oh, Minato, come sit here. Jiraiya patted the chair next to him, receiving a small chuckle from the blonde. Minato gave a small bow to Hiruzen before giving a wave to Tsunade. He walked in with Kushina and both settled down into their seats. To call me before I could even eat my morning ramen, you've got some nerve, Namikaze. The shadows on Kushina's face darkened, which caused Minato to sink deeper into the plush chair, holding his hands up placatingly. Settle down. Hiruzen finally spoke. The reason I have called you all here is because of a troublesome matter. As the brat finally becoming the fourth, Jiraiya started, eyeing Minato's sensei. Afraid not. A puff of smoke was exhaled from Hiruzen's mouth. 2 days ago, an injured shinobi was found on the roof of my tower. Severely injured and unconscious via injury to the head, was rushed to the emergency medical unit. While he was unconscious, I had Inoichi, the Yamanaka, head of the analysis team, unsurprising that he'd be in the intelligence division. Tsunade hummed. Yes, I had Inoichi look into the ninja's memories, and the findings were troubling to say the least, and with how Inoichi reacted to the memories, this is putting it lightly. In a few moments, the ninja will come into the room. So, who's our mystery ninja? Jiraiya asked. He is a shinobi from Konoha. That doesn't exist. Hiruzen let that hang in the air for a beat before he gave an almost unnoticeable smile, yet. Lord Hokage, are you saying, time travel? Minato looked at the old man with wonder in his twinkling eyes, much to Jiraiya's dismay. I forgot how much of a nerd this kid is. That is the only explanation I can offer to you at this moment. With what the shinobi has explained, he was transported here near the end of the Fourth Great Ninja War. Tsunade blanched. Fourth. We're still in the third. Hiruzen hummed acknowledging. I know it is hard to grasp, which is why I have called the shinobi in question to come forward. You may come in, Naruto. The doors of the basement opened and still bruised and battered blonde teen sauntered into the room. Sapphire eyes scanned the room, emotions dancing about the orbs as he looked at the room's inhabitants. He was wearing white hospital robes, one sleeve was blowing in the small drafts that were emitted from the vents overhead. Hey, kid. Naruto looked at Tsunade, Granny Tsunade. He beamed. Getting smacked from one of the strongest shinobi in the leaf was not funny, Naruto thought to himself as he rubbed the growing bump on his head. Who are you calling old? Show me your sleeve. Roll it up. Naruto did as instructed, rolling his right sleeve up to reveal the grisly injury. Half his right arm was gone, everything from the elbow down was gone. Kushina turned pale, gripping onto Minato tighter. How could someone as young as him get such an injury? He was still a kid. Properly bandaged, cleaned and stitched, well, looks like the Konoha medical ninja aren't all completely hopeless. Tsunade helped roll the sleeve back down. Naruto moved to sit left of Hiruzen, facing the wall with Inoichi sitting behind him. With one of the secret Yamanaka clan techniques, I will be projecting Naruto's memories onto the most convenient location, the wall. Inoichi smiled at his joke. Are we going to watch his whole life story? Tsunade raised a hand. I don't have to point this out, but we're in the middle of a war. I can only show memories that Naruto either holds dear to his heart or large achievements he considers important in his life. Anyone else has any more questions? Hiruzen asked. None. Minato and Jiraiya said. Then, let us start. Hiruzen nodded to Inoichi, who placed his hands on Naruto's shoulders. A small white orb escaped from Naruto's forehead, landing on the wall, and flattening into a screen. Lord Hokage. Junin were seen shouting their heads off. An older-looking Hiruzen looked on in annoyance. What is it? Is Naruto making trouble again? Looks like you're pretty well-known kid. Jiraiya laughed. Naruto facepalmed. He knew what this was. This was what he considered one of his greatest pranks. Yes. That punk desecrated the Hokage monument. And this time with paint. Hiruzen sighed, walking up to the roof of the Hokage tower, to see Naruto hanging by some rickety ropes, painting poops, circular symbols, and general graffiti onto the stone faces. Geez, what has that idiot done? Hiruzen could feel a migraine coming on. Oh man. Jiraiya fell out his chair laughing wildly, the others held back their amusement. You're a legend, you know that kid. Naruto blushed as he continued looking at the screen. With how Lord Hokage responded, I take it this happens often. Minato asked, also smiling at the boy. Naruto nodded, returning the smile. The sun was almost setting now. Naruto scrubbed the stone faces with a soapy wet cloth while Iruka watched over. Looks like you still got caught. Kushina mentioned, chuckling. Something about the boy made it difficult to not look at him. As though sensing what she was thinking, Minato leaned over and whispered, Are we thinking the same thing? He looks like me, the facial features are all there, you don't think? That is my son, she shouted. Minato sighed, wisely keeping his mouth shut, though he was whooping in celebration inwardly. I won't let you go home until you clean all of it. Like I care, it's not like I have anyone to go home to. Where am I? Kushina wanted to ask. The look on Iruka's face sobered quickly. He sheepishly continued, Naruto, if you clean this all up, I'll buy you ramen tonight. Naruto beamed, okay, I'll work hard, I will. Looks like you've got a rival for the love of ramen, Kushina. Tsunade said. Basically those that receive the Hokage name are the strongest in the village, right? And among them, is the fourth. A hero that saved the village from the fox demon. Then why? Iruka asked. 'Cause one day, I'm going to get the Hokage title, and surpass them all. Naruto pointed his chopsticks to Iruka. A worthy ambition. Minato nodded. To be Hokage essentially means throwing away your life, Tsunade mocked, earning a look from Hiruzen, whoever puts it at risk so easily is a fool. Naruto chuckled as he wiped tears from his eyes. Don't make me laugh too hard, Granny, my stitches are still new. Tsunade scowled, not knowing what he meant. Fail. The audience flinched at the sudden shout. A silver-haired man spoke, Iruka-sensei, Naruto did technically create a clone, we could let him pass. A spark of hope traveled across Naruto's face but was quickly shot down. No way, Mizuki-sensei. Everyone else divided into three, Naruto only created one and it was useless. I can't let him pass. Outside of the academy, Naruto sat on the swing, watching the families of those who passed celebrate. The villagers watched in disgust, some were happy that Naruto had failed. The audience frowned, Kushina especially. Why wasn't she there to hold him? Naruto was shown sneaking into the Hokage's mansion, using his transformation technique to make Hiruzen faint in a puddle of his blood. Jiraiya was socked by Tsunade. Why you gotta teach me this technique, kid? A shaking Iruka smiled down at Naruto. I found you, hey. Oh, I found the nose bleeder. Idiot. I found you. Iruka noticed how beaten up and exhausted Naruto was. Hey, you're all beaten up, what were you doing? Never mind that, I'm gonna try an incredible skill. You'll let me graduate after it, right? Naruto, where'd you get the scroll on your back? Oh, this. Mizuki-sensei told me about it, this place too. Ho, Hiruzen exhaled more smoke, it seems there are still traitors in the leaf. The scene changed, with a badly injured Iruka and Mizuki standing among the trees, You are the demon fox. Stop it, Iruka shouted. It means that you are the Nine-Tails demon that killed Iruka's parents and destroyed the village. The Jinchuriki, Minato eyed Naruto, then glancing at Kushina. The fox was sealed away again. Didn't you find it odd that everyone hated you? Iruka is the same. He actually hates you. Mizuki spun a large windmill shuriken aimed at Naruto. He's never known a parent's love. And is hated by all the villagers because of that incident. Nobody will ever accept you. He's seeking acknowledgement of his existence, in any possible way. The scroll was used to seal you up. So this guy is a kid at the moment, right? Jiraiya asked, veins throbbing in his head. Is it wrong to Rasengan a child? Sensei. Minato nudged Jiraiya. Is it wrong for two people to Rasengan a child? That's my boy. Jiraiya ruffled Minato's hair before he was smacked upside the head by Kushina. Naruto laughed at his parents' antics. He acts tough but is truly suffering. Iruka was seen protecting Naruto, the large shuriken sticking out from his back. After a tearful talk, Naruto was seen fleeing from the scene, Mizuki hot on his heels. Naruto! Iruka shouted. Quick! Pass me the scroll. Naruto stopped on a branch and headbutted Iruka's chest, sending the man tumbling to the ground in a heap. How did you know I wasn't Iruka? Naruto leaned against a tree trunk, smoke puffing, because I am Iruka. Smart. Tsunade nodded. Naruto smiled proudly at his teacher. Mizuki was flung away by a kick from Naruto. Don't touch Iruka-sensei, or I'll kill you. Shut up. A punk like you, I'll kill in one shot. Forming a single hand seal, an army of clones appeared. Didn't you say you were going to one-shot me? A beaten-up Mizuki was seen next, with Iruka asking Naruto to come closer. I've something to give you. Iruka wrapped his headband onto Naruto's head. Congratulations on graduating. Let's celebrate. I'll buy you a bowl of ramen. Naruto jumped into a hug. Hey, that hurts. A happy ending, that was good. I expect everything to go downhill from here. Tsunade grumbled. Well, you're not wrong, Granny. What did I say about calling me that? Naruto hid while Hiruzen sighed, looking at the clock hanging, 3:15, we still have much time. Shall we continue? The audience nodded. Can I say something? Hiruzen motioned for him to continue. After this memory, there'll be a lot of people that I think should be here to see what happens, cause, I think they need to know. Very well, who are these people? Minato's students were summoned to the room, a bored-looking Kakashi, an excited Obito and a meek-looking Rin. I will call the rest when the memories concerning them are nearer. Thanks old man Hokage. Naruto gave a thumbs up. Then, let us begin. The scene opened up with Naruto peeking out the classroom. Why is the sensei of our Team 7 so late? Hey, what are you doing, Naruto? Naruto wedged a chalk eraser between the doors. That's what you get for being late. The Pinkett sighed before moving back to her seat. The raven-haired boy looked, PFT, as if a Junin is going to fall for this trick. As the door opened, the eraser fell with a poof, hitting the head of the poor Junin. Idiot. Hiruzen, Tsunade and Obito said. You fell for it. Naruto exploded into peals of laughter. The white-haired ninja looked at them. My first impression of you guys, I don't like you guys. Is that you, Kakashi? Obito asked, which made Minato finally pinpoint all the similarities. Oh, me? Kakashi asked blandly. Well, my name is Kakashi Hatake. I have no desire to tell you my likes and dislikes. Dreams for the future. And I have a lot of hobbies. Are you being for real, Kakashi? Minato looked at his student wearily. This is supposed to be your new team. So, all we know is your name. The Pinkett groaned. They started to introduce themselves, Naruto opening with his dreams and likes, moving on to the raven-haired boy. My name is Uchiha Sasuke, there are many things I dislike. I don't have a dream per se, but I have an ambition. The resurrection of my clan and, to kill a certain man. Resurrection? What's he mean? Obito looked at Naruto expectantly. Well, no use beating around the bush. The Uchiha clan was wiped out by a single clansman. The room tensed. Everyone. Every single person except for Sasuke. Sakura Haruno announced herself. Gods, a fangirl. Tsunade cupped her head into her hands. As the scenes went by, a familiar one started. Oh, the bell test. Well, it is Team 7. It's tradition, Minato stated. The scene played on. You didn't manage to get one bell. Naruto blushed. Hey, I was young and inexperienced. That was all he could say to defend himself. Look at this. The names carved on here are known as heroes in the village. My best friend is here as well. Kakashi started. Hey, I've decided to get my name carved on there too. Then I'll be known as a hero. You don't know what that means. Minato sighed, rubbing his head. The others in the room also bit back a groan as they looked. I know it now. A lot of my friends and comrades are on that stone. Naruto said, not knowing the weight of those words. The audience quickly sobered up, Obito, Kakashi and Rin swallowing to control themselves. Looks like you humbled yourself a lot, Kakashi. Obito nudged him. Shut up, dead last. Kakashi said but was studying his future self intently. Wait, best friend. I didn't know Kakashi had a best friend. Who is it? Minato asked Naruto. It was. Naruto gulped. Uchiha Obito. What? Me. Obito pointed to himself. It happened on a mission, that's how Kakashi-sensei got his Sharingan. We'll ask about this later, so that we can change it. Minato put a hand on Naruto's shoulder and squeezed reassuringly. Sasuke handed the food to Naruto, but a large cloud of smoke burst out, revealing an angry-looking Kakashi. You guys. Pass. Though he was wearing a mask, the three could tell he was smiling. Congrats kid. Jiraiya clapped him on the back. The memory ended, which concluded with the mission in the Land of Waves. Remember, you aren't the demon fox. Minato clutched Naruto's hands, you're just the jailer. Naruto's midriff pulsed. Kurama isn't happy with that. Kurama, the Nine-Tails name, he isn't held back by a seal right now. What? We became friends during the Fourth Great Ninja War, I consider him to be a close friend. Though we had a history of bad blood, we're cool now. Right, Kurama. The fox shifted and snorted in annoyance before settling back to sleep. Shall we start? Hiruzen nodded. Wait, I'd like 2 more people to join us, since they're still living in this time. Get Sasu, Itachi's parents here. Soon after, Fugaku and Makoto Uchiha arrived, bowing to the Hokage before sitting with Tsunade. Then, let us begin. We shall continue with more memories tomorrow. Yua. The scream made Team Minato jump, even Kakashi was spooked. Damn it. Let go of me. Hey, so the Nine-Tails brat is still alive. The feminine-looking man weaved seals fast, before his 5 fingers were alit with purple flame. 5-part seal. Naruto was slammed back by the force but was kept in place by the long tongue wrapped around him. Sasuke stood, too shocked to move. Fugaku and Makoto drank in the image of their son. He looks like me, Fugaku. Makoto tugged his sleeves. Itachi got your eyes and Sasuke got mine. She squealed. Sakura screamed. It's true that unlike you, Naruto is clumsy and can get in the way, but at least he's not a coward. Girl has guts, that's for sure. I like that. Tsunade complimented the pinkett. Sasuke screwed his eyes shut, before flashing them open. The Sharingan angrily shining. I must survive in order to kill my brother. That's what I believed, but I was the one that was afraid. We can hear his thoughts now. Kushina asked. His brother. Why would my own son want to kill Itachi? Fugaku asked seriously. It'll be explained soon. Naruto could only say, he wasn't looking forward to that memory. The neck of the ninja lashed forward, sinking his fangs into Sasuke's neck. Sasuke. Makoto shouted out. Sasuke will seek me out, to seek power, the neck retracted to show the skin of the face peeling away, like a mask. The memory ended. Ah. That's where it ends. Obito whined. Jiraiya and Tsunade shared a look, only one person we know that uses snakes like that. They looked at Hiruzen. Yes, it was Orochimaru, wasn't it, Naruto? It is. In the future he launches an invasion against the Leaf Village. We will see more tomorrow. Please, go have a rest. Fugaku and Makoto made their way to the Uchiha residence, while Tsunade grumbled about losing more money at the pachinkos. Jiraiya made his way to the hot springs for research. Walk safely, okay. Team Minato bid their farewells to their teacher before departing. I guess I'll go find an inn to stay. Naruto started before he was grabbed by Kushina. No way, you're staying with us. She beamed. Oh, Naruto started, not wanting to be a bother. It's best to agree with her, it's safer both mentally and physically. Minato gulped. Oh, thank you. Good morning, Naruto. Naruto waved a hand sleepily as he was tossed a slice of toast by Minato. Murphing, he said before slightly choking on the toast, patting his chest. Don't talk with your mouth open. Kushina walked up with a glass of water, pulling him deeper into the kitchen, just out of Minato's hearing. Mew. Kushina, what's up? You're my son, aren't you? I am. Naruto scratched the back of his nervously. Kushina all but squealed, pinching his cheeks, and ruffling his hair. You're so handsome. You look just like Minato when he was finishing the academy. Are you gonna tell Dad? What? No, it'll be so funny to see his reaction when he finds out by himself. We've only been dating and thinking of moving in together recently, so, I don't want people to think that I'm easy. Naruto remembered about how Minato had told him how Kushina got her nickname from. I don't think anyone thinks you're easy. Kushina sobered up. What about your arm? She knew that everyone the Hokage's basement was surprised by the injury but still bit back their bile when they saw someone as young as her son with such a grisly injury. Well, it got traded for a dear friend of mine. So, it was worth it. People can't say I'm an armful to handle now, 'cause I only have one left. They both shared a laugh and made their way back to the living room. A great breakfast was had before they made their way to the Hokage's basement once again. Jiraiya and Tsunade were already seated, with two new additions being added. Sir Hiashi and Sir Hazashi. Minato bowed, Kushina followed. Oh, please do not mind the formalities. Hazashi smiled, Hiashi only nodded before moving his eyes back to the wall. Sensei. Obito, Rin and Kakashi said in unison. Minato smiled and sat down with Kushina and Naruto. Well then, let's continue. Inoichi put his hands on Naruto's shoulders again and the orb once again appeared. A shinobi with glasses was laid out on the floor, unconscious. Oh, this is a few weeks after the Chunin exam's preliminary rounds. Is my son alright? Makoto asked. He's fine, but he was given a curse mark from Orochimaru. It'll play a big part in the future, but for now, it will just make him lust for more power. He did in the end seek out Orochimaru. Makoto looked close to tears as Fugaku held her close, reassuring her. Man, keep it quiet. An elderly ninja sat on a orange toad. Watcha gonna do if I get caught? It's me. Jiraiya stood up and gazed at his future self. Looks like you managed to keep your youth. Tsunade smiled. Scenes of training went and passed, Jiraiya slowly warming up to the boy. Teaching him the basics of chakra control and also summoning. Ah, looks like someone's become an uncle. Kushina mulled. Jiraiya grumbled, sinking in the chair. Naruto was laying on the floor, exhausted. Jiraiya came over him. Get up. Training ends today. If you don't want to die, then figure it out yourself. Flicking Naruto's headband, he was flung backwards and hurtled down into a cliff. Wah! Naruto's voice echoed as he flew down. Minato stood to make his teacher justify his actions, but Kushina was quicker, slapping Jiraiya across the face, sending him rolling across the floor. You deserved. Hiruzen said. Fair enough. Jiraiya comically said, while his face was still eating dust. After gambling with the fox demon, Naruto weaved the seals for the summoning technique. Chakra poured out of his hand, a large toad exploded out and clutched the walls, breaking large chunks out. Whoa! Naruto yelled. Good job. Jiraiya congratulated from above. You summoned Gamabunta. Even I can't control him. At first, he was scary, but we grew close. I even fought alongside his son on the battlefield. Gee Gamakichi. Please tell me he's doing well. He's one of my favorites because he gets along with me. Well, he becomes as big as Gamabunta and starts smoking too. No. Jiraiya wailed, clutching his hair as he sunk, defeated. Thank you everyone for coming to the Hidden Leaf Chunin selection exams. Hiruzen held up a piece of paper with a tournament bracket and tossed it to Genma. Wait, Sasuke isn't here yet. What happens if he doesn't make it in time? If he doesn't appear by the time of his match, he will receive a loss by default. Genma. He made it. He became a Junin. Rin bounced in her chair, thrilled to see her former classmate become a wonderful shinobi. I wonder what happened to Hayate. Naruto shifted in his chair, remembering seeing Hayate in the form of an Edo Tensei. Alright guys, this is the final test. The arena is different, but the rules are the same. Either you surrender or you die. Hopefully I'll intervene before that happens. Genma looked at the two starting contenders. Now, Hyuga Neji and Naruto Uzumaki, those two stay here while the rest go to the stands. That's your son, Hizashi. Hizashi stared at his son, Neji. Does he always have such a serious expression? For the most of his early parts, he becomes a real softy soon. Hey, Hinata, there's a free seat here. Kiba motioned to an empty seat. That's your daughter, Hiashi. Different from what I've imagined. I never would have thought that I would raise someone so meek. Hiashi rubbed his chin. Begin. Neji laughed. That's what makes it worthwhile. It will be fun to watch when you discover reality and break apart. Stop all the blabbering, let's fight. There isn't another who has received such thick Hyuga blood. Watch closely, Hanabi. Hiashi spoke. Naruto started with shadow clones and charged forwards. For Neji, who was far superior in hand-to-hand combat, the clones were easily destroyed. Again, Naruto weaved signs and almost triple the number of clones appeared, charging at Neji. A punch connected to Neji's face, but the punch was stopped just inches from his face. A dome of blue chakra spun wildly, sending Naruto flying across the arena. The revolving heaven. Hiashi looked shocked. Only the head of the clan and heir should know about it. Neji once told me he learned it from only observing. Looks like my son is a prodigy. Hizashi said proudly. Neji was seen relentless thrusting his hands into Naruto, accurately shutting off all his chakra points. Kushina gripped Naruto's hands, while Minato put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Come on, stand up, Minato whispered. Naruto stood. I'm not good at giving up. Quit already. Continuing won't change anything. I have no grudge against you. Well, I do. Insulting Hinata, automatically calling her a loser. Main family, branch family, I don't care what happened. But pieces of shit who call others loser, I'll never forgive. Well said, brat. Tsunade nodded. Way cool. Obito cheered. Very well. Then perhaps I should tell you about the Hyuga's destiny of hatred. I am possible, Hizashi, you. I would give my life for the clan, brother. It seems I didn't let myself down. Hizashi smiled. Naruto concentrated as the demon fox's chakra surged within him, orange chakra flaring wildly around, looking like the tails of the fox itself. Here I come. An exchange of shurikens and kunais were seen. Hey. You're confident in close combat, right? Become Hokage. It's impossible. Look closer at reality. I don't know about the destiny about the Hyuga or whatever, but if it's too much for you, then you don't have to do anything anymore. When I become the Hokage, I'll change the Hyuga. A noble dream. Hazashi smiled. Naruto burst out from the ground and knocked Neji out. Destiny can't be changed, blah blah blah. Stop saying stupid crap like that, since you're not a loser like me. The memory ended from there. Minato fist bumped Naruto. Congratulations. Inoichi spoke, there is a divergence now. Naruto continued, with Kurama helping me, I'll be able to see what happened through the eyes of others. What are you suggesting, Naruto? Well, I can tell you all what happened briefly about what happened on my end. With Sasuke's help, we managed to defeat Gaara, and he turned over a new leaf soon. I now consider him to be one of my closest friends. Yeah, tell us more about Gaara. Obito asked. Kakashi also looked intrigued. He's Kazekage now, leading the Shinobi Alliance during the Fourth Great Ninja War. A hum of content went around the room. Now, Inoichi, you spoke about seeing another's perspective, care to elaborate? With the help from the Nine Tails, I will be able to connect to another's soul, allowing us to see what happened through the eyes of another. Hiruzen nodded and motioned for them to continue. Naruto's eyes turned into vertical slits, and the orb turned into a deep crimson. I know what this is, you aren't gonna like it, old man. Heh heh, a croaky voice sounded. I see, so that's how it is. Hiruzen spoke. Your foolishness has caused the leaf to fall even further and farther behind. I have won. Hiruzen looked slightly amused. It's not over till it's over. I thought I had taught you that. Orochimaru. The Kazekage tore the fake skin off, revealing the snake Sannin. Orochimaru. Tsunade and Jiraiya both looked on in horror, as Orochimaru raised a kunai to their sensei's neck. You will die here, the third. Orochimaru threatened with certainty. Hiruzen took off his robes and revealed his battle armor underneath. Orochimaru laughed. So, you have your funeral shroud prepared. Fuck. Jiraiya held his tongue, remembering the kids around. What makes you think sensei's going to die, you snake bastard? Hiruzen looked at the screen intently, torn between asking if this is where he died or if he managed to protect the village he loved dearly. As if sensing his thoughts, Naruto looked at him. Don't worry, old man, you made a difference now and also in the future. Hiruzen chuckled softly. Is that so? Then my life was not spent in vain. The battle started as the 4 Crimson Ray barrier was erected by the Sound 4. It looks like I'm not able to escape this easily. Orochimaru and Hiruzen faced off against each other, the tiles around them cracking from the immense pressure of chakra. Hiruzen threw a shuriken and ran with it, matching Orochimaru's speed in weaving hand seals. Shuriken Shadow Clone. The one shuriken split into hundreds. You're way too strong, Lord Hokage. Obito cheered. You got this. Tsunade looked at the screen. She knew those hand seals that Orochimaru were weaving. Sensei, isn't that? Hiruzen confirmed her fears. Indeed, it looks like I'll be having a tough battle ahead. Lord Hokage, what's the technique? Hiashi asked. That is the forbidden technique that the second Hokage developed. Summoning. Reanimation. 1. A wooden coffin sprung out from the roof. 2. Another coffin followed. The coffins were used as shields against the hail of shurikens. I must stop the third one at all cost. Hiruzen muttered. 3. Orochimaru hissed, but no coffin emerged. The coffin lids creaked open and fell to floor with a heavy thud. No way. Tsunade was standing up, fists clenched. The audience was shocked as well, because standing in front of Hiruzen was the first and second Hokage. Grandfather. Tsunade softly said. Naruto looked down from the screen, though he didn't know how everything played out since he was battling Gaara at the time. From what Kakashi-sensei had said, it wasn't pretty. Hashirama and Tobirama, they were both exceptionally powerful shinobi, with Hashirama being called the god of shinobi. Tobirama spoke. It's been a long time, monkey. Oh, it's you. You've grown old, haven't you, Sarutobi? I would not have thought I would meet with you two brothers again in a situation like this. It is regrettable. Hiruzen made a battle stance. Make your preparations to be defeated, First Hokage. Second Hokage. As badass as ever, aren't you, old man? Jiraiya said, looking proudly at his mentor. Hiruzen only huffed. It would only be fitting. A torrent of flames came forth from Hiruzen's mouth, charging towards both Hokages. But was met with a matching torrent of water. To think he'd be able to cast such high-level water techniques on a place without water. Unbelievable. We can hear thoughts now. Fugaku said. The first Hokage formed hand seals and a great forest emerged from the ground, covering the whole barrier. The branches wrapped around Hiruzen, binding him. They wrapped around him tightly. Lord Hokage, Kushina yelled. If I were to be defeated so easily, I would not be named Hokage, would it? Monkey King Enma burst forth, the branches snapping with his power. You're pathetic, Sarutobi. This all happened because you couldn't kill him the other time. Enma transformed into a staff and Hiruzen started making quick work of the branches. All right. A snake crawled out of Orochimaru's mouth. Gross. Kakashi started. The sword of Kusanagi. A short battle commenced with Hiruzen being knocked aside by the reanimated Hokages. How foolish, to be charging in without any clones. It's not that he didn't, he can't use it. Minato said, it's different from before, your chakra levels aren't the same. The clones distribute the remaining chakra evenly. If he used it now, it would just be a waste of chakra. Good observation. Hiruzen agreed. The exchange of techniques stops here. From here on, it's going to be a blood-drenched, free for all. Hiruzen said between breaths. Just like how a shinobi battle should be. Hiruzen weaved 10 hand seals. That technique. Minato knew it too well. That's the Reaper Death Seal. So, this is where I die, it seems. The first Hokage opened up with an illusionary technique, bathing everyone in darkness. Hiruzen began getting attacked from all angles by the unseen Hokages and Orochimaru. You're just for a short while, a leader in the history of the organization of the Leaf. Eventually, even that rock will crumble. Clutching his wounded arm, HMPH, to me the Leaf Village isn't just an organization. You tell old man. Jiraiya softly spoke. Every year, there are a lot of shinobi born and raised in the Leaf Village. They live to fight, to protect the village, and to protect what's precious to them. They will go to their deaths. Even if we are not related by blood, these are, to me, my most precious, my most important. Family. Minato and Kushina both wiped tears away, while Jiraiya and Tsunade bit their lips, etching the sight of their mentor's final moments. The rest of the audience hid their tears. Ha! Then I'll break you in half, the pillar of the Leaf Village. Stupid. Snake bastard, Obito ground out. Even if you kill me, the beam won't break. Determination flowed through his veins. I'm the man who inherited the will of the Leaf, the will of the first and second Hokage. I am the third Hokage. No matter how many times you target the Leaf Village, there will a new Hokage who'll inherit my will, and become the pillar to protect the House of the Leaf. Minato's face was wet with tears, flowing unbidden. Hiruzen jumped and grabbed the first Hokage, the god of death's hand, taking the soul away. The illusionary technique was dispelled. The second clone grabbed onto the second Hokage and pulled the soul away as well. Sorry, Sarutobi, the first Hokage started. We've caused you a lot of trouble. The second Hokage gave a weak smile. Hiruzen's clones vanished, leaving him panting and grasping onto the Enma staff for support. He leapt forwards and dodged Orochimaru's attacks, grabbing him by the shoulders. This is the end. Orochimaru's fingers flicked and the sword of Kusanagi lifted into the air and flew towards Hiruzen. Lord Hokage. Sensei. Old man. The cries from the audience almost drowned out the two ninjas' cries. Die. They both shouted. The sword pierced Hiruzen, the hilt being grabbed by Enma. Why didn't you avoid it? Hiruzen coughed blood. In order for this technique to work, one must give his soul to the Reaper. There was no need to avoid the sword, I'll die anyway. A long time passed, but the two shinobi made no move. It looks like I don't have enough strength to seal you away. Hiruzen managed. Could you please die then, Sarutobi-sensei? Orochimaru said in between breaths. But, your ambitions end here. My ambition is to end here. I've heard that a lot, Orochimaru continued driving the sword through Hiruzen. You've grown old, third Hokage. Do you have the strength to continue protecting the village? Look around you, the leaf will crumble. Hiruzen smiled. The Leaf's shinobi are all protecting the village, they fight with all their life. True strength is not the mastery of techniques. When the shinobi are protecting something important, that's when a shinobi's true strength appears. A boring speech. Orochimaru scoffed. I think it was a great speech, Lord Hokage. Rin said, her eyes red from tears. Thank you. Hiruzen smiled. Stop. The knife of the Reaper went down and sliced Orochimaru's soul at the hands, turning them purple and immobile. You old man. Give me back my arms. Orochimaru howled. The place the leaves dance, the fires burn. The fire of the shadow illuminates the village. Hiruzen fell to the ground, motionless and with a smile on his face. The audience were now all shaking with emotions, some with sadness, some with anger. Most with pride, that the Hokage faced his death with courage, worthy of his title. Sensei, Jiraiya cried. I'm not dead yet, Jiraiya. Like hell I'm letting you die. Jiraiya yelled. Now I know what happened, I have to bring Orochimaru down. Let's see the conclusion before we call it a day. The scene changed. A large crack was seen split down the third stone face. It was raining heavily. A funeral was being held for the third Hokage. How weird to see my own funeral, isn't it? Hiruzen mused, trying to subtly lift the somber mood. Everyone was dressed in black. A young boy with goggles was seen sobbing. Who is that child? He's your grandson, Naruto said. A grandson, truly, my life is blessed. The funeral scene continued, with everyone paying their respects to the third Hokage. The orb vanished, as Inoichi leaned back into his chair. Let's continue tomorrow. The audience agreed as they all left, Naruto smiling as he went with his parents. Minato went to open the door while Naruto lagged behind. Naruto, what's wrong? It's just weird, never thought there'd be a day I'd have someone to go home with. I'm sorry for leaving you alone. Kushina held his hand and they caught up with Minato. Let's go home. Yeah, Naruto beamed. Everyone entered the room, eager to see what was going to be played next. Good morning, all. Hiruzen greeted. Let's begin. The scene opened up to Kakashi panting hard. You have begun to move, you think we don't know? The name of your organization, it's Akatsuki, isn't it? The two robed men looked mildly surprised. Those eyes, that's Itachi. Fugaku spoke. My son is a terrorist and a traitor to his village. And, also the one that massacred the whole Uchiha clan. Naruto meekly added. Fugaku was about to faint, he knew it. Is that why Sasuke is so fixated on revenge? Naruto nodded towards Makoto's question. Kisame. Take Kakashi out, it's time for these people to disappear. Kisame did as instructed, swinging his large blade down, but was quickly stopped by a flying kick to his stomach. Who is this? The Leaf's prideful green beast. Dear Lord, he's still alive. Kakashi groaned. Isn't that Might Dai's son? It seems he grows up to be a splendid ninja. Minato smiled. It was always good for Kakashi to have friends. A bubbling sound was heard. Kakashi was sinking into the river. Oi, oi, pick me up. Kakashi looked worriedly at his older self. Guy picked Kakashi up and gave advice on how to counter the Sharingan. As the tension picked up, it seemed as though a large battle was about to take place, but Itachi and Kisame both fled. The scene changed once again. A knock came upon Naruto's door. Naruto, we would like you to come with us. Itachi's smooth voice came out. Before they could do anything, well, it's been a while, Sasuke. Uchiha Itachi, I will kill you. Makoto tore her eyes away from the screen, unable to bear the sight of her two children killing each other. Fugaku steeled himself and continued on. Hiruzen shifted in his seat, knowing the reason behind the Uchiha's massacre. Sasuke's hands exploded into lightning as he charged onwards, tearing into the wall. "Oh whoa!" he screamed. It was easily blocked and diverted by Itachi, as the two brothers glared at each other. "You're in the way." A sickening snap was heard as Sasuke's arm broke. Fugaku twitched, and Makoto curled into herself. Tsunade watched, while Minato worried for Naruto. Minato held a breath as he saw Kisami's Samahata being brought down towards Naruto. Before contact could be made, it was blocked by a large toad. "Sensei, I love you." Minato breathed. HMPH. "Of course, as if I'd let my students be hurt." Jiraiya puffed his chest out in pride, though deep down he was also worried that he wouldn't had noticed. Jiraiya, this epitome of manliness. I will fall for no woman's feminine wiles." "Jiraiya, what did I tell you about keeping your reputation as the Sannin?" Hiruzen sighed. It's cool." Sasuke tried to interfere but was brutally manhandled by Itachi, kicked, and thrown around the room. Jiraiya cast seals and trapped them all inside the stomach of the large toad. "Kisame, come." In the end, they both escaped. "Damn, it looks like I'll need more training." Jiraiya huffed. The next memory showed an izakaya. Tsunade. "Jiraiya, what are you doing in a place like this?" "Today, I met someone that brought back bad memories." Tsunade said softly. "Orochimaru. What did he say?" "Nothing much. Anyways, why'd you come to see me?" Jiraiya's face turned serious. "To tell you the truth, the village has issued a request for you to be the 5th Hokage." The room tensed as they waited for Tsunade's answer. Minato looked expectantly at her, while Tsunade looked away uncomfortably. "Impossible, I decline." "What?" Minato whined. "I would have said yes so quickly." Kushina chuckled as she pat her back. After a verbal outburst from Naruto and a following scolding from Jiraiya, Tsunade spoke again. "Jiraiya, this kid seems worse than your previous apprentice. In terms of looks and speech." Sensei. Am I the next Hokage?" Stars shone in his eyes. "You are one of the candidates for the next in succession." Minato. "You're drooling." Kushina whined. Oh, sorry." He wiped his mouth, which made Naruto laugh. But even the 4th died quickly. That sobered Minato. That does put a damper on celebrations. Whoever puts it at risk so easily is a fool. Whoa. Major deja vu. Jiraiya said. "Being Hokage is a shit, no one but a fool would do it." Naruto lunged forward, aiming a punch at Tsunade but was yanked back by Jiraiya. "You got some guts, kid. Let's take this outside." The fight was over quickly. Well, that was expected. She's of the 3 Sannin as well. As if there was any doubt. Tsunade said, face still serious. "I don't remember being so sour about the Hokage's position. Maybe because I'm drunk." A wager was made, but if you can't master that technique within a week, then you lose. "And all your money in here belongs to me." The frog pouch sat snugly in Tsunade's palm. My cute froggy. I will now be starting the divergence." Inoichi spoke. "Whose perspective will we be viewing from now?" "Yours." Inoichi answered Tsunade's question. "Mine. Oh joy, can't wait to see how I spit on the Hokage's title once again. Maybe I'll even kick the old man's casket open." Tsunade barked a mirthless chuckle. The scene opened with Tsunade slamming her foot into the ground, splitting it apart like paper. "Come, Orochimaru." A fierce battle ensued between Kabuto and Tsunade, the tide of battle changing here and there. "You hate seeing blood, I'll show you blood." Kabuto charged to Tsunade but was blocked by the arrival of Jiraiya, Naruto and Shizune. "Great timing as always, Jiraiya." Tsunade smiled as she nudged the toad sage. "Move." Tsunade elbowed Jiraiya out of the way. "Oh yes, injure your savior." "Thanks Tsunade." Kabuto cut his wrist and a shower of blood landed on Tsunade, who was frozen, trembling at the sight of the blood. "Minato-sensei?" Obito asked. "What's happening?" She's experiencing a panic attack. Lady Tsunade probably has a phobia of blood, usually it's because of prior traumatic incidents. Spot on, kid. Spot on. Tsunade said softly, her eyes never leaving the screen. I want to see if I was ever strong enough to get over this. Tsunade was huddled with Shizune after the punch from Kabuto sent her reeling. Orochimaru summoned a large snake with the help from Kabuto, who had announced himself to be a spy from the Sound Village. Summoning. Jiraiya cried out, only to see the smaller Gamakichi on the ground. What? Your stupidity still hasn't been cured, Jiraiya. Then I will attack first. A multitude of high-speed battles and high-level techniques were thrown about, ending with Orochimaru's fangs sunken into Jiraiya's neck. Jiraiya smiled. The most important ninja talent is not the number of techniques that one acquires. The important thing is a spirit which never gives up. Naruto blocked Kabuto's punch with his headband. Naruto, Tsunade looked at the teen, who smiled and gave a thumbs up. I'm cool, aren't I? Super cool. Obito fist bumped Naruto. Don't get brat, Tsunade said but couldn't hide the smile growing on her face. Wah! Naruto screamed as the Rasengan formed in his palm, but it missed Kabuto. Why? Why are you? Old lady Tsunade, remember the arrangements of that bet, how you'll have to give me that bad luck necklace of yours. Kabuto charged with a kunai in his hand, as Naruto made shadow clones. If you die, you'll never accomplish your dreams or anything else. That's enough, Naruto. Get out of the way. Run. You idiot. Do as she says. Kushina screamed, her hands covering her mouth. The kunai pierced into Naruto's hand, he gripped Kabuto's hand tight. Until I become Hokage, I refuse to die. Tsunade looked on shocked. You won't be able to escape from this one. Rasengan. Naruto slammed the vortex of chakra into Kabuto's stomach, sending him crashing into a rock. You really mastered the Rasengan in a week, that's amazing, you. Minato was cut short as Tsunade slammed a fist into the wall. Be quiet, Minato, the battle isn't over yet. Naruto fell to the ground, groaning as blood dribbled from his mouth. I collected chakra in my abdomen before I took that attack, then I began recovering immediately. The chakra in your heart muscles has been snapped, the blood flow to your heart has been cut off. Shut up. A tense silence filled the room as they watched Tsunade pump Naruto's chest, her face clearly showing all the desperation. The bet, I won, Naruto weakly said. He drifted off into sleep as his fatigue caught up to him. Tsunade smiled, it's your dream to be Hokage, so. Orochimaru lunged forwards, sword extended from his mouth. Tsunade's eyes widened as she realized that Naruto was his target. Lady Tsunade, Minato shouted. She used her own body as a shield to block the attack. I wasn't trying to kill you. If that brat survives, he'll cause a great deal of trouble for me later on. Don't get in my way. No, I'm going to protect him no matter what. You tell him, Kushina whooped. Trembling in the fear of blood, why of all the shinobi, Tsunade? One of the legendary three from Konoha. Why are you risking your life to protect one worthless genin brat? He's not worthless. He'll become the greatest Hokage the Leafs ever known. Minato said, clutching Naruto's shoulder. You want to know why? This kid is the future Hokage of the Hidden Leaf. Tsunade said softly. Hey, being Hokage is worthless, only fools would want it. Orochimaru reflected Tsunade's words. Tsunade laughed, propping herself up with her trembling hands. From now on, I too shall bet my life. Faye, if you're going to throw away your life for a worthless brat like him, then die like the worthless trash you're protecting. The sword cut through Tsunade like butter, sending her crashing to the ground. Tsunade, Hiruzen looked at the screen, heart-wrenching painfully at the sight of his student getting killed. Was there a funeral for her as well, Naruto? No. The room was shocked. Did nobody remember her well enough to mourn her passing? There wasn't a funeral because she never died. Believe it. Orochimaru went in for the kill, but the second strike was blocked by Tsunade as well. Didn't I tell you? I'd said I'd bet my life. Kicking her aside again, you worthless trash. Tsunade watched her trembling hand, before her hand stopped. A punch sent Orochimaru flying back. Yeah, kick his. Obito cheered. Why am I doing this? Tsunade's diamond seal started spreading throughout her face. Because now, I am the fifth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf. The seal around her head was gone, her injuries healing themselves rapidly. I've been collecting chakra in my forehead with the seal for quite some time. I can reconstruct any damaged organs of my body. It's not just simple healing but regeneration. In other words, I'll never die in battle, ever. The three Sannin slammed their palms onto the ground, a puff of smoke exploding wildly. A large snake, toad and slug stood high above the landscape. The battle that took place was of epic proportions. Ultimately Orochimaru had to call a retreat. Amazing, Obito said, Rin and Kakashi nodding to show their agreement. A new scene opened up on the orb. Come on. Naruto charged towards Tsunade, where she easily flicked him off. She ready to flick to his forehead while Naruto shut his eyes. Instead, she gently kissed him on the forehead and put her hand on his heart. She gave a big smile. Become a good man. Naruto beamed. Roger. The scene closed as Inoichi slumped back into his chair. Let's stop here for today, go get some dinner. It seems you've turned out to be a good Hokage, Tsunade. Hiruzen smiled warmly. I don't need to worry about you anymore. He laughed. Tsunade blushed as Jiraiya laughed. The prettiest Hokage the Leafs seen too. He was promptly sent flying. Fugaku and Makoto bid their farewells and made their way back to the Uchiha estate. Hiashi and Hazashi too, bid their farewells. Hey, Naruto. Naruto looked at Tsunade. Do you still have that necklace? Naruto tilted his head. Oh. He pulled into his orange jumpsuit. Here. I keep it with me everywhere I go. As a good luck charm, you know. Hey. Tsunade laughed. She stood up and ruffled his hair. Looks like I don't turn out too bad after all. You bet. Kids, you guys want to come over to have dinner? Minato smiled at his team. Yeah, Obito and Rin cheered. Kakashi shrugged. As the six of them went back to the apartment, Minato opened the door for all of them. Welcome home. We're home. Kushina and Naruto smiled. A bowl of homemade ramen and miso soup sat in front of them. Kushina, Naruto and Obito were ready to eat while Minato, Rin and Kakashi stared down at their bowl of noodles. What? Don't like your girlfriend's food? Kushina eyed him. And no, I love it, but don't you think it's unhealthy to be eating ramen almost every day? No, sensei. I think it's better for all of us, you especially if you just ate it. Kakashi looked at Minato wearily. Right, Minato drooped comically. As the night went on, conversations started and Naruto and Obito got along pretty well. Weird to see how he was becoming close to the one person that started the fourth great ninja war. The one who killed Neji and caused so much grief. Naruto. Rin called out, are you alright? Oh, yeah, just a little tired. Naruto unclenched his fisted hands, I'll just go to bed early. Dinner ended and Minato bid farewell to his students, get home safely. As they left, Minato walked into the spare bedroom they had given to Naruto and sat on the bed with him. What's wrong? Just a lil. Weirded out. Nothing's troubling me, yeah no. If you don't want to talk about it, I understand. When it comes out in the memories, we'll talk about it okay? I just need to know one thing. What is it? Did you ever hate us for leaving you to grow up alone? No. Naruto responded vehemently. Well, at first I was kind of, but you two were heroes and I got to meet the two of you in the end. I always knew you were my son. Minato ruffled his hair. Look at me, I'm a father. Almost as if he couldn't believe the words he was saying. Kushina smiled from behind the door. Where's Hazashi and Hiashi? Kushina asked. They had to settle some problems within the clan and will not be joining us for quite some time. Hiruzen said. Settling into their usual positions, Jiraiya happily munched on a pack of roasted peanuts while Tsunade glugged down a gourd of water, probably trying to mask her hangover from whatever she was doing yesterday. Inoichi activated his technique and once again the orb shot out of Naruto. I became your friend, then why? A drenched Naruto ground out. That is why. That is why it's worth killing you. Oh, starting off heavy today, it seems. Jiraiya eyed the Uchiha elders, as usual of the Uchiha. Fugaku snorted, of course. We must always carry ourselves with dignity. I don't quite get it, but you seem serious about killing me, don't you? Sasuke. The two stared at each other before leaping and exchanging blows. Chidori and Rasengan slammed into each other, the resulting explosion sent them both flying back. The curse mark spread throughout his face. Can you read the true mind? My mind. Sasuke yelled as he shot out a ball of fire. What a world they have to live in, Fugaku sighed, where friends must kill friends to attain more power. Sasuke held Naruto up by his collar, the Chidori flaring to life in his hands, chirping loudly in the quiet valley. Naruto's hands started to glow orange and his whisker marks became thicker. It's too late now, Naruto. The Chidori impaled Naruto. Kushina looked sick, as though she might vomit anytime soon, wobbling in her chair. Minato pulled Naruto into a hug, rubbing his tears away with his hand. Kushina made her way over to hold his hand, giving him a warm smile. Fugaku bowed from his chair, till his head was parallel with the ground. I sincerely apologize for my son's actions. Thank you, but it's not your job to apologize. He's my son. I'll make sure this never happens. Tsunade and Jiraiya were mumbling angrily, while Hiruzen clenched his fists underneath his desk, angry at his inability to stop anything from happening. You prevented me from hitting your heart at the last second, but that was pointless. They impaled your right lung. Sasuke pulled his hand from Naruto's chest with a sickening squelch. Kushina cringed from the wet noises. The red chakra surrounded Naruto, propping him up. It thundered forwards and rapidly healed his grisly injury. Sasuke, you won't go to Orochimaru. Even if I have to break the bones in your arms and legs, I will stop you. What the hell are you? A friend. Naruto easily turned the tide of battle, pummeling Sasuke left and right, sending him crashing into the cliffside. Wake up already. If you're still not sure, I'll break you like a stick and bring you back immobile. Sasuke laughed. Shut the hell up. What do you know about me? Someone like you without family or siblings, you had nothing in the first place. What the hell do you understand about me? Huh. He kicked Naruto off, and they faced off once again. I don't understand about real families and brothers, but when I'm with Iruka-sensei, I wonder if it feels like being with a father. Minato frowned, angry with himself that he couldn't be there for his only son. Why? What happened that made him not see Naruto grow up? Another comma appeared in Sasuke's eyes. Come, Naruto. I will break that bond. Exclamation mark quote. Obito stood up, fists clenched. The Uchihas were always stupidly stubborn and headstrong. Before long, the Nine Tails cloak had fully enveloped Naruto. It bubbled angrily around him. The speed which Naruto moved was almost too much for the Sharingan to handle, launching a fire technique at him. It was entirely blocked by chakra. I'm not hurt, Naruto, you were special. But, Sasuke's hair grew in length and turned white and his skin grayed. I am more special than you. Special? Is that what it is? Kakashi mused. I'm not ready to lose. Two hand-like wings burst from Sasuke's back, shielding him from Naruto's attack. Both of them charged up their last attack. It seems this will be the decider. Hiruzen exhaled smoke. One that would not give up and one would not look back. These clashing hearts, everything is put into one strike. The scene ended. Who won? Fugaku asked. Naruto shook his head, still transfixed on the wall. Fugaku sighed. For once he'd hope his son would have lost instead. Naruto sat in the hospital bed, covered in bandages. I'm sorry, Sakura. Like I said, I won't go back on my word. Because that's my ninja way. Sakura bit her lip. I'm sorry, Naruto. I had to make you wait a while, but next time, we'll do it together. She's matured a little. Tsunade nodded. Sakura knocked on the Hokage's office door. Come in. I have a request. Please, make me your apprentice. Haruno Sakura, I've heard from Kakashi that you're intelligent and that you have a strong spirit. Alright, from now on, I won't go easy on you. Dear Lord, she's making a mini Tsunade. Jiraiya wailed. Never thought I'd one day have a student of my own, Tsunade thought out loud. The scene flickered for a bit before sweat started to bead on Inoichi's forehead. Someone else's memories are coming in. The memorial stone was in view. Kakashi stood over it, looking down solemnly. Now, as a Junin, I have subordinates. But, like before, I'm always regretting it. Even with this eye, I couldn't see what was going to happen. Kakashi closed his eyes. If you were alive, what would you say to me now? Obito. Kakashi. Obito looked to his friend. I'd tell you to never give up. Fires were burning in his eyes and he fisted the air. Minato looked on at the screen in worry. How could he prevent this from happening? I came to talk to you today about an important matter. From now on, you're officially my apprentice. I will train you one-on-one for 3 years. Naruto argued about finding Sasuke, starting a heated conversation with Jiraiya. You idiot. You're giving up everything to find one friend. Jiraiya called out. Naruto smiled meekly. If you're a fool, then it will be a world full of pain. That's reality. If you're a fool, then it will be a world full of pain. That's reality. Jiraiya was stunned when he said the exact same words as his future self. Naruto looked at the man. If that's what it means to be wise, I'd be happier living as a fool. If that's what it means to be wise, I'd be happier living as a fool. The same words left Naruto's mouth. Hey, looks like I have a hell of a student, huh? Jiraiya laughed. A fool is a fool, but only a moron would do something like that. When you leave the hospital, get ready, you big fool. See you. Naruto saluted. Alright, looks like you're a fully fledged teacher now, aren't you, Jiraiya? Tsunade teased. I don't know what you're talking about. You taking over sensei now. Hiruzen watched his 2 students bicker, reminded how they were when they were much younger. The memories would end here today. It was already the evening. Naruto, can I have a word with you? Sure thing. We'll wait for you at Ichiraku's. Minato yelled as he was pulled along by his team and Kushina. What is it, old man? What happens with Orochimaru in the future? Well, he starts off a little mad at first, but he becomes a good person, mostly. He was a major help in the 4th Great Ninja War. I'm sure you'll see it soon. I see. Hiruzen stroked his beard. It seems everything turns out well after all. Hiruzen watched out the window, the vanishing silhouette of Naruto. The village is in good hands. Good morning, Lord Hokage. Kushina greeted as she sat down in the Hokage's basement once again. Hiruzen nodded as he smiled, watching her sitting down with Minato and his team. Jiraiya and Tsunade gave their acknowledgements. Where's Makoto and Fugaku? Sasuke will not be appearing for quite a while. We will call them when those memories near. We do not want to burden them with too much knowledge of the future. Tsunade said. I see. Minato nodded. Let's start. Inoichi stated. I missed this place. It hasn't changed one bit. Naruto stood atop the village on a pillar. His orange jumpsuit had been changed to one with black sleeves and shoulders. He looked taller and more matured. Seems like we skipped a few years ahead. Hiruzen said. You've become so much more handsome. Kushina gushed. You've grown a lot, haven't you, Naruto? Yo. Kakashi sensei. Naruto beamed. You haven't changed one bit. Obito looked at the older Kakashi, while the younger Kakashi took in his older self. Sakura met up with Naruto and quickly gave him a haymaker when he tried to show Konohamaru his new techniques. I hope you don't go around teaching my grandson such techniques, Naruto. A blushing Hokage said. That beauty and strength, it would seem you've managed to raise another Tsunade, no? Jiraiya added on, earning him a glare from Tsunade. The scenes Ed quickly with Naruto and Sakura teaming up to get the bells from Kakashi and a new mission to save Gaara from the Akatsuki. Akatsuki, they might be trouble soon as well. Yeah, but it's all good, we managed to save Gaara with Granny Chio's help. Give Sasuke back. Naruto ground out, chakra begun to leak from his body, he leapt towards Orochimaru, his body cloaked in the Nine Tails chakra. A clawed punch sent Orochimaru flying into the forest. My oh my, you've become quite the vessel. Naruto. Dude seriously gives me major creep vibes. Obito commented. In my presence, don't you dare talk of Sasuke as though he belongs to you. The cloak of chakra sprouted 3 tails and a fierce battle between Naruto and Orochimaru commenced. Orochimaru's mouth opened and a new body crawled out. You're using the power of the 9 tails and that's all you have to show. You still have a ways to catch up to Sasuke. The 4th tail started bubbling out. Oh, no, Minato looked on in horror at his son. The seal around you is weakening. You became friends with that. Kushina gaped. Naruto's stomach grumbled. Kurama says he didn't really like me before. He laughed. The transformation ended, and out of the shroud of smoke was a mini 9 tails. Gone was Naruto, replaced with a red-fleshed fox. My god. Jiraiya whispered. A dense ball of chakra formed above Naruto, condensing in size as he ate it. His body swelled in size before the ball of energy erupted into a torrent of great heat, gushing forwards to Orochimaru. Orochimaru slammed his hands to the ground, triple Rashomon. 3 gates of varying color came up from the ground, blocking the dense energy. Amazing. Obito looked at the screen in wonder. Orochimaru's getting his butt handed to him. Orochimaru's elongated neck sprouted from the ground, the blade of Kusanagi flew straight into Naruto, sending him crashing into the cliffside. Even my Kusanagi blade can't pierce him then. Naruto swatted the blade aside like it was nothing, sending it flying towards Yamamoto and Sakura. Idiot. Watch where you fling that damn blade. You nearly took off my future apprentice's head. Tsunade barked. I'm sorry I didn't know. Naruto put his hands up in the air. Tsunade huffed. Sakura started running to Naruto. Wait, Sakura. Don't get too close to Naruto at this moment. Yamamoto yelled. Naruto. Stop. Stop it now. I'll get back Sasuke, I'll show you, so. You don't need to. Sakura was flung back as one of the tails hit her arm. Tsunade clenched her fists. It will soon be the time. Hey. Orochimaru laughed as he lay on the ground. Patience. Have patience. I have Sasuke. Yamamoto took the chance while Naruto was distracted to quickly seal the 9 tails chakra back up. Sakura ran to Naruto and began to heal his burns sustained from the 9 tails state. It's always like this. The only things I can do for Naruto are so small. Naruto slowly begun to wake up. Sakura. He jumped to his feet. Ah. That forked tongue Sai must have hurt you with his insults again. He called you monstrously strong or a cow. That bastard. Naruto was duly punched by Sakura. You bastard, you're the one who calls me monstrously strong. Mini Tsunade. Jiraiya whispered. Even Minato was nodding his head. The 2 men shivered when a glare was directed at them. Tell me that was the only time you went into the 9 tails state? Kushina asked, holding on to his arm like a vice. It doesn't get worse than this, right? Naruto could only look sadly at her. It gets worse for a while more. I don't get chummy with Kurama until the 4th Great Ninja War. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I really need that war to come faster right about now. By the way, Captain Yamamoto, where is Sai? The scene ended there. You should call Fugaku and Makoto back, I know what the next set of memories are. They'll want to see Sasuke. Though our reunion wasn't the best, there'll only be more from here on out. Very well. Hiruzen nodded. Fugaku and Makoto quickly made their way here. Lord Hokage, we came as quick as we could. Apologies for the tiles that have dropped en route. The roofs of Konoha's houses are not the best. I shall begin now, Inoichi said. Over there. Yamamoto nodded. It's Sai's chakra. Sakura grabbed Sai by the collar. You. What the hell are you after? How many times do you have to stab us in the back before you're happy? Oh, it's Sakura. That voice, Sasuke. Makoto looked at the screen intently, searching for her baby boy. We aren't going to like this, are we, brat? Jiraiya asked. Naruto only shook his head as he looked to the ground. Sasuke. Sakura's voice trembled. Naruto ran forwards, tripping but quickly picked himself up and ran out of Orochimaru's hideout. Sasuke stood atop the rubble, looking taller, muscles more defined and a sharp face. He looks like a male version of you, Makoto. Makoto didn't respond, busy drinking in the image of her son. Sasuke was dressed in black pants and a loose white shirt. Tied around his waist was Orochimaru's signature thick purple ribbon. I saved you on only a whim. In an instant, Sasuke was by Naruto's side, draping an arm across his shoulder. Oh right, didn't you have a dream of becoming Hokage? Is it really so good for you if you lost even that by chasing after me? Sasuke. That's why this time, at my whim, you'll lose your life. A person who doesn't save one of his friends can hardly become Hokage, isn't that right, Sasuke? HMPH. Your son is clouded by his hatred, it runs too deep. Rin said. It's almost the same with Kakashi and his father. Rin. Kakashi looked at his teammate, she shouldn't have known about this. Rin smiled as she took hold of Kakashi's hands. We're a team, so it should be obvious I know what's been troubling you, right? You, Kakashi grimaced, he was never good with sentimental moments. I know about that too. You're my rival after all. Obito chimed in, which made Rin giggle and Kakashi sigh. Minato looked at his team and smiled. A brief fight broke out between Team Kakashi and Sasuke, with Sasuke leaping to the top of the debris. Don't you understand? Your body is going to be taken by Orochimaru. Sasuke's expression remained neutral. If it happens, so it happened. I'll make it clear even now, if by giving my body to Orochimaru, we can get the power to defeat Itachi. I'd give my life again and again. Sasuke began weaving seals, with Konoha or with you, I'm done. But was stopped midway by Orochimaru, let's go. The three of them burned away, leaving Naruto clutching the ground sadly, tears streaming down his face. Jiraiya put a hand to Naruto's back, it'll get better, kid. Crying can't bring him back to us. Sakura started, I'm still with you, we'll get stronger, together. She wiped her own tears away. Naruto laughed softly, hey, thanks. That was one hell of a memory. Tsunade said, taking out a bottle of sake. Inoichi, when does the next memory take place? Hiruzen asked. Inoichi whispered to Naruto about the details of the next memory. Oh. After that, Sasuke betrayed Orochimaru and managed to kill him for about a year and a half. He killed Orochimaru. That Sasuke really became strong. Minato commented. Fugaku nodded his head, of course. He's my son after all. He put Orochimaru into a stasis for some time, the next memory should be about a year later. Very close to the time when the Fourth Great Ninja War is declared. Hiruzen swallowed and nodded, begin. Wait. Naruto put his hands forwards. I need to see something. He pulled Jiraiya to the seat and put a hand on the Toad Sage's shoulders. Kid, what are you doing? There's something I need to know. I'll share my chakra with you in a moment, so that I can connect the future you and the past you together. You can do that. Jiraiya looked to Inoichi, who only shrugged. Kid. Jiraiya felt the pulse of Naruto's chakra seep into him and merge with his existing chakra. Wow. This is amazing. Now, let's start with Jiraiya. Yes, sir. Inoichi put his hands on Naruto and Jiraiya's shoulders and started his technique. The orb appeared from both of them and merged into one. You're a bit tougher than I expected. Seems this calls for my secret weapon. It worked, Tsunade said, looking at a slightly older Jiraiya. Are you interrogating someone? You were always pretty lousy at that. Hey, if you're not giving me anything, then I'll use my technique to turn you into a frog. The silence that filled the room was deafening, the two rain shinobi not knowing what to say. Jiraiya blushed. Turn you into a frog. As I said, lousy. Tsunade laughed, the effects of the sake starting to hit her. Hiruzen facepalmed himself. Haha. Jiraiya was now relentlessly tickling the shinobi with a feather. Just what is it you want anyway? There. Now spill it. Mr. Sanin, you're amazing. Obito laughed, falling out of his chair. The interrogation was fruitful, with Jiraiya learning a lot about the leader of the Akatsuki, Pain. Walking out of the fleshy toad room, Jiraiya summoned a scroll toad. Jiraiya, what the hell do you think you're doing, bringing me out here? You know quite well about Naruto's ki. Oh no, I'm not planning on more training, certain circumstances have me wanting to stay out here for the time being. I'll be fighting a seriously tough opponent, so. Jiraiya released the seal on the toad. Alright, how long will you be? I shouldn't be too long, but just in case something happens to me, store yourself within Naruto. Minato only sealed the Nine Tails Yin chakra using the Reaper Death seal. Minato knew of something of grave importance. And if because of that something, chose to entrust the Nine Tails to his own son. I sealed the Nine Tails into Naruto. Minato's hands trembled as he didn't dare look at Naruto. A hand was placed on his shoulder. Don't worry about it. If I didn't have the Kurama, I wouldn't have met a lot of my friends, and saved the people I loved. But, Kushina whacked him on the head. Our boy already said he was strong enough, so trust him on it, yeah no. Naruto, Minato looked at his son, I'm so proud of you. No way, that's Conan. Jiraiya pointed at the screen. I always thought you were dead, but all this time, you were just a bunch of paper scattered to the wind. A female shinobi made of paper floated just above the ground. Now you're an angel, Conan. A messenger of God, as it were. Who or what is Pain? You don't need to know, sensei. Paper formed to large beautiful wings from Conan's back as she drifted higher into the air. You really do think yourself an angel, don't you? I must kill you, that is the will of God. Jiraiya, that kid is. Yeah, when we were in the land of rain, those 3 orphans. I thought they'd all died. A man with lilac pupils appeared, perched atop the pipes. That's the Rinnegan. What's the Rinnegan? Rin asked. It's the most exalted eye amongst the 3. It's said that in times of disorder, one who wields the Rinnegan is sent down from the heavens to become either someone who will calm the world or reduce everything to nothingness. Jiraiya explained. You've changed a lot, but those eyes. So your Pain, Nagato. You don't need to know, you're just an outsider, remember? The fight commenced as Jiraiya summoned a battle toad to aid him, the first Pain and Conan working together to kill him. Jiraiya bit his wrists and drew lines across his face. I'm going to use Sage Mode. I'm summoning the 2 great hermits. Not Pa and Ma, Jiraiya groaned. A large dog crashed into Jiraiya as they burst through pipes. In a moment, the dog was flung away like a toy. Brat, why do you always summon us at places like this? No wonder he's always angry. I apologize for meeting you in this place, Pa, Ma. Let's go. A frog-like transformed Jiraiya stepped out from the shadows. I always hated this form, scares away the ladies. Jiraiya blinked. Naruto, did you ever become a sage? I did. Naruto beamed. Jiraiya smiled at his student. The first Pain summoned another 2 Akatsuki robed members, human summons. You who will cause the destruction of the world, it's my duty as teacher to stop you. Jiraiya struck a pose. Do not. For the love of everything, do not pose. Tsunade cried out. Prepare the force of my ninjutsu, backed with the ultimate senjutsu. Behold the brilliant glow of my angelic halo, the gallant Jiraiya. Quit shoutin' in my ear, dang it. Both frog sages shouted, punching Jiraiya on the face. Tsunade barked a laugh, ha. Make sure to summon them soon so I can thank them, Jiraiya. He grumbled under his breath something about old frogs. One of the pains leapt forward but was met with a nasty kick to the face by Jiraiya, very nice. The pain commented. A large ocean of boiling oil was spewed from Jiraiya's mouth but was absorbed by the chubbier pain. He got rid of the oil. Jiraiya kicked his sandals off, then we'll figure it out through close combat. A large Rasengan was made and hurtled to the pain, who put his hands up and absorbed it again. The following attacks Jiraiya made were all seen through and dodged easily. Their visions are linked it seems. Jiraiya noted. My best bet is to fight them one-on-one. Good choice, Jiraiya. Hiruzen agreed. Then the next move should be to immobilize them. Pa and Ma have a great genjutsu for this. On cue, the two toads begun their duet, the illusionary technique spreading throughout the pipes. Not long after, the three pains found themselves stuck in a cube made of water. You got me, the tallest pain said. This is a genjutsu that paralyses your nerves and your mind. Your bodies, all three of them can no longer move an inch. Jiraiya-sensei, I had no idea you were capable of using such an incredible illusionary technique. The stare-off continued for a while longer. I wanted you to rise above that pain, to conquer it. Not use it to lead the world to ruin. Goodbye. The three pains were seen impaled by large stone swords, pinned to the ground. That was cool. Obito looked at the toad sage. Maybe he could have a second teacher. It's not over, Naruto said with a grim look on his face. Didn't you just remind me not to underestimate my enemies, Jiraiya-sensei? An explosion was heard and Jiraiya let out to the open space. Your arm, Tsunade cried out. At least it was my left hand. Jiraiya tried to make the atmosphere lighter. It's time for you to witness the 6 paths of pain. S6. There's 6 of them, and the ones that have been killed have returned. What kind of enemy are you dealing with, Jiraiya? Hiruzen looked at the screen as sweat started to bead across his forehead. There is no technique that can bring 3 dead men back from the grave, are they even human? Hiruzen asked. Pain, what are you? Jiraiya asked. Jiraiya looked closely at the screen. Why Yahiko? But how? His eyes weren't the Rinnegan. Who are you? The 6 men jumped from their perch. We are pain, we are God. Who sent Lord Jiraiya on this mission? Makoto asked. It was Granny Tsunade. You bet that Jiraiya wouldn't return from this mission. That's my bet, and we all know how my bets turn out. Always trying to act cool, he always puts on a tough front. Jiraiya was caught from underneath the water. A hand reached out and injured his throat before all the remaining pains impaled him with a black rod. Jiraiya. Hiruzen stood from his seat, yelling. The scene turned black, and Jiraiya could be heard speaking. I couldn't save my friend, I failed to protect my student and my teacher. Compared to the other great Hokages who came before me, my accomplishments have been petty and insignificant. I wanted to die like them. I had concluded about how my life would end a long time ago. I lived believing that my shortcomings were just amusing distractions. That my failings would build character, and in return, the great sage predicted I would raise a revolutionary, someone upon whom the fate of the entire shinobi world would rest, and that I would have to make a big decision. Sensei. Minato cried. Pathetic. This isn't how the tale of Jiraiya the Gallant was supposed to end. Writing this story, it's all been a waste of time. A memory with Minato appeared. That's me. I don't remember this conversation happening. It hasn't happened yet, Sensei. Kakashi answered. I thought it was great. Minato smiled as he held up Jiraiya's book. Each chapter really seems like a page out of your own life, sensei. It almost reads like an autobiography. Yeah, but it didn't sell at all. Maybe I should try and up the sequel a little. After all, that's my forte. The way the protagonist refused to give up at the end, that was really cool. He's just like you, sensei. Jiraiya laughed. Actually, I was thinking, Kushina and I want to raise our child to be a shinobi like the one in your book. Minato put the book down. That's why we've decided to name him after the main character in your book. What do you think? No way. Minato looked at Kushina, then he looked at Jiraiya, who was teary-eyed. Are you sure about this? It's just a random name I came up with while I was eating some ramen. Kushina walked out of the room, holding her stomach. Naruto. It's a beautiful name. No way. Minato looked at Kushina, pregnant. Kushina bear hugged both Naruto and Minato, my son, and husband. She leaned into their embrace. Congratulations, in advance. Makoto laughed, winking at her friend. Jiraiya laughed. Oh boy. If I name him, that makes me his godfather, right? Are you sure you want that on your heads? Absolutely. You're a man with true skill, an example we should all follow. I can't think of a finer shinobi than you. That's right, Jiraiya thought to himself. I remember now, I named him. Get up, you old fool. Jiraiya bellowed to his older self. Never go back on your word, and never give up, no matter how bad it gets. That's your ninja way, and I'm supposed to be your teacher. I can't go out like this. Because the student's ninja way should be the master's too. Right, Naruto. Jiraiya brought himself back from the brink of death through sheer willpower. I was certain his heart had stopped. Pain mumbled. Jiraiya quickly burned a message into Fukasaku's back. Okay. I got it all. Never give up. That was the choice I had to make. Naruto, you're the destined child, I know it. The rest is up to you now. As Fukasaku made his escape, the platform Jiraiya was on started to collapse. He fell into the body of water with a smile on his face. There, that ending was a bit better. The frog that was at the bottom of the well flowed out to the great ocean. I guess it's time to put down my pen. I need a title for my next book. I got it. The Tale of Uzumaki Naruto. Perfect. Sensei. Minato wiped tears from his eyes. Tsunade went to give him a crushing hug. Tsunade, what are you? You just died for the kid, don't make me kill you now. I should have went with you. Jiraiya smiled. You're the 5th Hokage, you had bigger things to worry about than a pervy sage like me. Hiruzen smiled at the scene. Perhaps this time he'd be able to save his student. Jiraiya stood up and began walking back to his original seat, looking back at Naruto. Oi, Naruto. He held up one hand and made a fist. I won't go down this time, so, wait for me, alright. Naruto felt the sudden wetness in his eyes, yeah. Beaming wide. The others felt touched at the scene. Little Jiraiya has died in battle. Fukasaku began, his throat crushed in battle. He left me a message as well. This is it. Naruto ignored Fukasaku's words. Did you send him? I did. Tsunade answered. Why did you let him go? You know how he is. How could you send him into danger all alone? Naruto started walking out of the room. If that pervy sage had been made 5th Hokage, then Granny Tsunade wouldn't have forced him to do this. I know it. Tsunade winced. Naruto sat in front of a convenience store, holding a dripping twin ice cream, the dripping cream mixed with the tears he was shedding on the floor. Kid, you look crushed. Jiraiya said. Iruka appeared and sat down next to him. I heard about Jiraiya. I wanted him to always watch me. I wanted him to see me become Hokage. All he ever saw was me being totally uncool, and Jiraiya frowned. Jiraiya always praised you. Iruka started. He always spoke of you proudly, as if you were his own grandson. He believed you would take his place. He never doubted you would become a great Hokage. The room was quiet. He was always watching you. Even now, he still is, somewhere. Just be the same old you he could always praise. You can't stay depressed forever. Iruka took the ice cream and broke it in half. You're the awesome apprentice of one of the three great ninjas. Naruto wiped his tears and gave a weak smile. Thanks, Iruka. It's getting late. Hiruzen looked at the clock. Let's get this finished. The next memory started with a puff of smoke. What the? Obito questioned. What's going on? Naruto stood atop a toad, with a red cloak that sported black flame decals on the bottom trimming. His eyes were rectangular slits, with orange markings on both eyes. What? Jiraiya jumped out his chair. Why, you really became a sage? Minato was stunned. He hadn't even mastered the sage mode yet. How proud he was of his son. Naruto gave a sheepish grin when he caught Minato staring. Looks like you became stronger than your old man, huh? But I still have my flying Raijin skills. About that, Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Ah, come on, Minato whined. Where are we? Naruto asked. Ma, I thought I told you to summon us to Konoha. This is Konoha, take a good look around. What? Hiruzen looked closely at the screen. Almost all of Konoha was flattened, the Hokage monument confirming their fears. Shit. Fugaku cursed. Rin held on to both her teammates as they watched the carnage unfold. Naruto stared down Pain. I finally found you. This saves me trouble. All 6 Pains assembled in front of Naruto. Tsunade leapt in from the air and stood in the middle. Granny. I am the 5th Hokage, and I will never forgive you for trampling on the dreams, the treasures, of those that came before me. As Hokage, I will put an end to this. A robotic Pain flew forwards, aiming knives at Tsunade but was swiftly destroyed via Naruto's Rasengan. Through Tsunade's eyes, the images of Jiraiya and Minato were both etched onto his back. There's no need for the Hokage to deal with the likes of these guys. You just go enjoy a nice cup of tea or something. Let's settle this once and for all. Tsunade handed Katsuyu to Naruto. Where's Kakashi-sensei? Did he leave for a mission? She didn't reply. I get it. Minato flinched. What did she mean? Kakashi couldn't possibly have. Did Kakashi die? Just like that, Kakashi followed him into the grave. Obito bit his lip. An explosive battle started changing the landscape of the already destroyed Konoha. Naruto threw the Rasenshuriken at Pain. It expanded outwards and devoured anything in its path. Amazing. Such power from this technique. Fugaku commented. I managed to infuse wind chakra into the Rasengan. That's amazing. Even I can't do that yet. Minato laughed as he smiled at Naruto. As the battle unfolded, Naruto was pinned to the ground by black rods. Shit. Get up. Obito yelled. You say my peace is a lie. But in this cursed world, a peace where people truly understand one another is nothing but a fantasy. You didn't even try. You just gave up and cursed the world. Obito remarked. They nodded their head in agreement to Obito's words. Naruto choked when he heard Obito's words. Naruto. Yeah, can I have a word with you outside the room? Naruto created a clone, and it walked out with Minato. You've been giving off this uncomfortable expression whenever Obito speaks. Is there something wrong? Minato's eyes narrowed. He's. Just say it, Naruto. I won't get angry at you, promise. Minato put a hand on Naruto's shoulder, gripping it reassuringly. Obito's the one that started the 4th Great Ninja War. Minato was shell-shocked. His knees felt weak as they started turning into jelly. But didn't you say he died? Right now he's posing as an Akatsuki member under the name of Toby. He wears a wooden spiral mask with a hole on the side. Dear God. Minato put a hand to his head, to ease his growing head. It's hard to not just stand up to kill him, right now. Naruto. But I won't. He saved Kakashi-sensei in the future, and managed to become a good person. So I'll see how it plays out from here. Thanks, Naruto. Minato embraced him. I'm so proud of you. Minato walked back into the room after the clone vanished in a puff of smoke. Getting back into his seat, Inoichi began again. Is everything alright, Minato? Kushina worriedly asked. Oh, everything's fine, dear. Don't worry about it. The battle moved to the mountain sides of Konoha, where Naruto was rampaging in the Nine Tails form. Pain used a technique to create an artificial ball of stone in the sky. What a powerful technique. To be able to create a miniature moon. Hiruzen commented. Is this the power of the Rinnegan? More or less. Naruto replied. We're inside your mindscape right now, aren't we? Kushina asked. We are. Naruto sank to his knees, the seal on his stomach exploding to life. The ink on the seal thickened until it started to leak, pooling into a large black circle on the ground. The nine tails shot out of the floating rock, with 8 tails writhing about. Naruto walked to the gate that held the 9 tails and moved to tear off the seal. This is bad. It's too late, we're all going to be fox food. Jiraiya clutched his hair. A hand grabbed Naruto's hand, the words, "Fourth Hokage," was written on his white cloak. Naruto was tackled backwards with the blonde man. The fourth Hokage, Naruto mumbled. The seal is set to that if 8 tails are released, I'll appear within your consciousness. I didn't want that to happen, I never wanted to see you again, 9 tails. But I looked forward to seeing how my son had grown, so I guess you could call it even. I guess this confirms it, Daddy dearest. Kushina purred out, giving Minato a kiss on the cheek. Hey, Minato blushed, rubbing the back of his head. Rin cooed at the sight while Obito gagged. Kakashi just shrugged as he gave Minato a sly wink. Minato brought them to a white landscape. I guess the third Hokage never told you. He wanted as little information about the 9 tails out in public as possible. If anyone knew you were my son, you'd have been in constant danger. Forgive me, Naruto. Dad, Naruto socked Minato in the gut. Why did you seal the 9-tailed fox in your own son? Do you know how tough it's been living with that? I'm happy. I'm pissed as hell. I don't know what to feel. He yelled as he cried. Someone was hiding in the shadows, controlling the 9 tails' every move. He too was a shinobi of unfathomable power. I'm sure he'll attack again. Was Pain the one who sent the 9 tails to attack when I was a baby? Naruto asked. No, it wasn't him, it was a man from Akatsuki, wearing a mask. Minato looked at Naruto, who gave him a grim look. Minato cursed inwardly as he sneaked a glance at Obito, who was still watching the heartfelt conversation between him and his son. Stop lumping all this crap on me. If you hadn't noticed, I'm pretty stupid. I'm not even that good of a ninja, and plus. Minato ruffled Naruto's hair, you'll figure it out someday. I know you can do it. Really? You really think I can? Hey, a parent always believes their kid can do anything, no matter what. I told you you'd be a great father. Jiraiya told Minato. I'll redo the seal, but this will be the last time. The leaf will grow again, it's in your hands now, Naruto. The 9 tails vanished from the floating rock, Naruto in its place, already in sage mode. Naruto fought against Pain, grabbing the rod, and stabbing himself with it, reversing and following the flow of chakra back to the originator. Found you. There's a 5-second delay in which he can't use his almighty push, I had to finish it within that time frame. 5 seconds. Obito gaped, awed at the reaction time of Naruto. A ring of smoke puffed up around Pain, as hundreds of Naruto clones leapt at him. Before they could touch him, the 5-second interval had finished and Pain launched his attack, sending the clones flying back. If you don't have an answer, give up, Pain shouted. The clones formed a line, holding themselves back against the unrelenting force of the almighty push. Now there were only 2 clones holding up the original. You withstood it. Pain fell to his knees, spent. Damn it. Naruto started forming a Rasengan. That won't reach Pain in time, unless you're about to use the flying Raijin. Minato asked with stars in his eyes, rooting for his son. Hey. Naruto laughed, not yet. What? Then how will you reach Pain in time? I'd just jump. Tsunade chimed in. Not everyone's as freakishly strong as you, princess. Jiraiya laughed before he got sent flying. You give up. The clones threw Naruto towards Pain, thinking I'm going to give up. The Rasengan slammed into Pain, severing the connection. The scene changed. Naruto was seen talking to a man with black rods sticking out of his back. Nagato. He's alive. Jiraiya stared at the screen, mouth wide. Do you hate me? Now that you see me before you. You want your revenge, don't you? A black rod shot out of the throne Nagato was sitting on, hitting Naruto in the stomach. This close, I can easily control you with my chakra. Don't worry, it's not a fatal wound. You're very important to me, after all. Naruto looked up Nagato. Sage mode merged with the nine tails. Nagato shivered in fear. He had managed to hit Naruto because he let him. That pervy sage said the day will come when people truly understand one another. He had faith. When he told me that, I wasn't even really listening to him. He said he wanted me to find the answer, but I was just glad to have his approval. Now, I finally know what he meant. It's not that easy. Tsunade and Hiruzen nodded. Peace was never easy to start, and even harder to maintain. Now you have heard my story, let me hear your answer. Naruto took out a book from his jacket. That pervy sage believed in me, so I will believe in what he believed in. That's my answer. So, I won't kill you. Thank you. Jiraiya breathed as he looked at Naruto. I will lift the curse. If any kind of peace exists, I'll grab hold of it and never let it go. I refuse to quit. Nagato looked shocked. Those words. My name's one of his gifts to me. If I quit now, I'd disgrace him and everything he gave me. I'll become Hokage, and when I do, I'll bring peace to the Hidden Rain along with everywhere else. Believe it. Jiraiya smiled. A real smile. I couldn't find the strength to have faith in Jiraiya, or myself. But you chose a different path, and in you I see the glimmer of a new future. Nagato pulled his hands out. I will try putting my faith in you, Uzumaki Naruto. What? He can bring people back to life? Hiruzen asked, shocked. Then, young Kakashi. That's how there were little casualties during the invasion. Naruto answered. Well, that's quite a tale, son. Yup. Why is that coward here? Kakashi glared at the screen. Kakashi, Minato started. No, Kakashi vehemently said. He abandoned the mission because he wanted to save his friends. Someone that does that. Kakashi looked at the ground. It's too bad, both of us died. Far too young. Not as young as Mom, though. Kakashi sighed. Regardless of how it ended, you did everything you could have. I understand what you went through now, why you broke the law to protect everyone else. Because now, I too have people I would die for. A picture of Team 7 in their younger years could be seen in Kakashi's hand. Good for you, Kakashi. Minato grinned at him. I'm proud you were my father. But, Kakashi could feel the tears gathering in his eyes, blinking them away as he watched in disbelief. Rin put her hand on his in silent support. Tsukumo looked mildly surprised. Thank you. A bolt of pure white light hit Kakashi, shocking him. What is this? I guess you really did come here too soon. There must still be things you need to do. Dad, I'm happy we got to talk. Tsukumo laughed. And thank you for forgiving me. I think I can move on now, and see you mother again at last. Kakashi opened his eyes, to see Shuza and Choji looking down at him. So, Kakashi's back too. Shuza laughed. Nagato, Jiraiya sighed. The great paper tree started to fly away as it broke apart. My role ends here. Naruto, maybe you really can do it. What happened to him? He died. Naruto looked sad. Jiraiya released a breath he didn't know he was holding. Naruto wondered off Kakashi's support. The entirety of the Leaf Village was cheering him on his return. Sakura walked up to him. Sakura. She punched him on the top of the head. Why do you always push yourself so hard? As Naruto was reeling from the punch, he was pulled into a hug from Sakura. "Thank you," she said. The shinobi and villagers tossed him into the air as they cheered and celebrated. From being scorned by the villagers to becoming the hero of the leaf. Tsunade looked at Naruto proudly. He did Minato and Kushina well. The clock showed it to be almost 9 in the evening. "We shall be taking our leaves first. Please do notify us if Sasuke is to appear anytime," Fugaku said as he bowed out. Hiruzen nodded. "Are you all able to continue for one more memory?" Inoichi asked. "We're not children, Inoichi-sensei," Obito said. "Let's keep going." Inoichi snorted, breaking out into a smile. "Very well." Jiraiya and Tsunade agreed as well, showing that they wanted to continue. The orb appeared once again, signaling the start of a new memory. "So where and when are we?" Hiruzen asked. Naruto looked at the memory, instantly noticing the shaded shinobi. "This is where I got the 9 tails chakra form. That's B, the host of the 8 tails. I remember him, I had a confrontation with him just recently. He was pretty skilled." "Okay. Then I'm going to close the door, I'll show you what to do with the 9 tails." Naruto entered his mindscape. Wow, the place looks a lot cleaner too, and brighter. A nice change of pace. Kushina smiled. Though he still looks as grumpy as ever. She shivered as she looked at the fox snarling through the bars. "Naruto, where is the real you?" The 9 tails eyed Naruto suspiciously. "I'm here right before your eyes." Naruto leapt forward and pulled the ceiling tag away from the lock. Naruto's hands lit up with flames as he plunged them into his stomach, the gate seal slowly unspiraling as it opened. Naruto and the 9 tails stared at each other for a beat, before the 9 tails lashed out. "I see, so you want to control my power. Come at me." Naruto entered Sage mode and pushed a Rasengan at the 9 tails, who easily blocked it with his tails. "The 9 tails as strong as ever," Minato commented. His team watched with bated breath, eyes never leaving the screen. As the scene played, it showed Naruto being consumed by the 9 tails' hatred, sinking to his knees. "This isn't good for my heart." Kushina tried to calm her beating heart. "Maybe Minato'll appear like before." Kushina appeared before him. "Naruto. Hey, it's me." Kushina pointed at the screen. What's a person doing here? Try to guess who I am, Naruto." Kushina waited. "Have you gotten who I am?" Naruto gasped. "Ah, you're the 9 tails true form." Kushina started to laugh. What an evil laugh. "You think you can trick me by transforming into a woman?" She punched him on the head, hair flaring dangerously. "You're wrong, yeah no." Minato reflexively inched further away from Kushina, a sheepish look on his face. "Excuse me." Kushina looked at him. Nothing at all." He moved back to sit with her. Minato never said anything about it. "That's right. I'm your." Naruto pulled her into a hug. "So I get punched and you get a hug? Life is truly unfair." Minato complained. "Stop complaining, you big baby." Kushina laughed. Chains exploded from Naruto's body, wrapping around the 9 tails. Still inside with Kushina, Naruto imagined himself with red hair. "You've got such pretty red straight hair, I wish I'd inherited that from you though." Kushina laughed. "You're the second man to ever compliment my hair." "Who was the first?" "Your dad, of course." She beamed. Obito gagged, while Rin giggled. Minato flushed red like a beet. As the chains kept the 9 tails in place, Naruto slammed many Rasengans into it. At long last, the chakra flowed out and seeped into Naruto. In its place stood a new form, entirely cloaked in the 9 tails chakra. Naruto looked like the incarnation of pure chakra. "Cool." Obito gushed. "See, can you show us?" What? Naruto looked surprised. He looked around the room, everyone else seemed equally as curious. Even the 3rd Hokage inched closer from his desk. Oh, I guess I can." Inoichi took his hand away from Naruto, as he sat up from the chair and stood in the middle of the room. Naruto's eyes closed in concentration, as everyone held their breaths, waiting. Naruto's body was suddenly cloaked with yellow flames, his skin from head to toe was all covered in orange chakra. A sort of circular design is featured prominently over his stomach. The whisker-like markings on his face become thicker to resemble the 3 trigram. 6 Magatama markings are present around his collar. Various other dark designs appear along his body, appearing densely enough to give the appearance that he's wearing a bodysuit beneath the yellow coat. A pattern consisting of a Rinnegan-like marking above 9 Magatama also appears on his back. 6 Truth Seeker's orbs float just behind him. Tsunade dropped her sake gourd on the bottle, clanking lightly as it rattled on the ground. Nobody said anything as they took in his new form. Whoa, Obito said softly. Before he burst out, what the hell? This is amazing. Minato stood up and walked up to Naruto. You look more like the Yellow Flash than I do. He laughed. Kakashi gave a mumble, not wanting to say how cool it looked as well. What are these orbs floating behind you? Those are Truth Seeker orbs. I can bend them into any kind of weapon or shape. It also has the nasty side effect of disintegrating anyone that touches it. Naruto awkwardly said the last part. Jiraiya inched his hand further from the orbs, coughing. So, that's what it does. Kushina ran a hand through the flame-like chakra. It floated across her hand like smoke. Hiruzen sensed the immensely dense chakra around the room. A sudden cracking made everyone look at the window. I think you should shift back, Naruto. The room will break if you don't control your chakra. But I'm holding back at least 50% already. The form vanished as Naruto made a move back to the seat, the audience breathing slowly to calm their beating hearts. The scene started up again. Naruto standing in his new form. Why does it look different from what you showed us just now? Hiruzen asked. That form was when I got a power boost from the Sage of Six Paths. What? He's real. I thought he was just a myth. Jiraiya asked, wide-mouthed. The atmosphere changed as Naruto stood with Kushina. I was the previous host of the Nine Tails, let's start there. Looks like we finally have another chance to know more about our son. Minato smiled at Kushina. The masked man that attacked the village knew when the seal would be at its weakest. During childbirth. A memory started. Kushina was screaming in pain. It hurts. Are you sure it's okay to show this? There are children here. Kakashi eyed Obito. Hey, I know what childbirth is like. Obito stuck his tongue out. Kushina blushed slightly. I've never seen her in such pain before. Will she really be alright? Minato asked. Of course. Just keep an eye out on the Nine Tails seal. Bawako. Hiruzen heard his wife's voice. You can do it, Kushina. You can do it, Naruto. Kushina screamed even more. Naruto, come out. Nine Tails, you stay in. A baby's crying could be heard as Naruto was swaddled in cloth. Minato wiped tears from his eyes, chuckling, I'm a father now. Naruto, I finally get to see you. Kushina said tiredly. Cute. Tsunade smirked. Rin cooed at the baby. Suddenly, Bawako and Taji fell to the ground. Bawako. Hiruzen jumped at the sight of his wife falling to the ground, injured. Fourth Hokage Minato, step away from the host. If you don't, this child won't live a minute longer. The masked man held a kunai to Naruto's body. Wait. Calm down. I am perfectly calm. You're the one that needs to calm down, Minato. The masked man threw Naruto into the air, holding the kunai underneath him. Naruto. Kushina yelled. Naruto. In an instant, Minato was sticking to the wall, holding Naruto. I expected nothing less from the Yellow Flash, but how will you deal with the next one? Bomb tags were stuck to the cloth, but Minato was faster. Teleporting outside with Naruto in tow, he had placed a teleporting kunai in advance. But now, he was separated from Kushina. In an undisclosed location, Minato sat Naruto down onto a bed. Just wait here a bit, Naruto. I have to go save your mother. As the masked man threatened Kushina, a Sharingan spun in his eyes. An Uchiha? Obito asked. Naruto choked on air. as Minato bit his lip, knowing who was already underneath the mask. The biggest question was, what motivated Obito to target his family? Even Minato failed to bite back the instincts to protect his family, leaking just the slightest bit of murderous intent. The room chilled for just a bit but vanished just as quickly. Now, come out of there, Nine Tails. The Nine Tails erupted with a thunderous roar, shaking the ground around them. The audience shivered, Kushina especially. This was one of her worst nightmares, and it was happening in front of her right now. The masked man commanded the Nine Tails, sending its large hand hurtling towards Kushina. You were the host, and now I'll use him to kill you. But Minato teleported them away. Naruto, is he alright? Yeah, he's in a safe place right now. Kushina's eye fluttered. Thank goodness. Minato, you have to stop the Nine Tails, it's headed for Konoha. Minato vanished. Putting Kushina with Naruto, he put on the fourth Hokage's coat. I'll be right back. Kushina started sobbing. Kushina, are you alright? Does it look like I'm alright? This is probably where we both die. Knowing about something and watching it were two entirely different things. Minato landed on his stone monument, the Nine Tails sensing him and preparing a chakra bomb. So, you sensed me, huh? He weaved hand seals and a large space-time barrier appeared and warped it to the mountainside. The masked man appeared behind Minato as he swung a kunai, but it simply went through his head. The masked man grabbed Minato's arm. You'll have to fight me, and it's over. As Minato was being way, he teleported. You're fast. An instantaneous battle commenced, with Minato flashing above the masked man and slamming a Rasengan into his back. Woo! Go sensei! Obito cheered. Kick his butt. Rin cheered alongside. Jiraiya felt very proud of his student, letting him know by patting his back. Minato summoned Gamabunta, crashing it down onto the Nine Tails. I'm taking this with me. The Nine Tails vanished underneath the toad, alongside with Minato. I can still fight, Minato. Long chains sprouted from Kushina's back, entirely covering the Nine Tails. Looks like I woke up Naruto. My god, you look horrible, Tsunade said, her eyes wide. Kushina wiped her tears away, still sniffing. I'm going to draw the Nine Tails in, and kill myself. That way, I can put off its resurrection. That's the only ways that my remaining chakra can help you. Kushina wheezed painfully. No. Minato held her hand tighter. His face deathly pale. Kushina, you made the fourth Hokage, you made me a man, you made me a father. And yet, don't look at me like that, Minato. She smiled. I'm happy you love me and, it's his birthday today. If there's one thing I regret, it's that I won't be able to see him grow up. Minato was openly crying now, his genin team comforting him, even Kakashi joined them. It's alright, Minato-sensei. You can change this now. Rin told him. Kushina, there's no need for you to die with the Nine Tails. What? Minato looked up at the screen. I'll seal you remaining chakra inside Naruto with a 8-symbol seal. Then I'll take down the Nine Tails with the Reaper Death Seal. I'll seal the Nine Tails inside of Naruto. But, the true value of a man is shown when he is facing his death. Hiruzen said solemnly. Have faith in this child. He's our son after all. Minato-sensei. Rin pointed to the now smaller Nine Tails, the chains holding him weak because of Kushina's deteriorating chakra levels. Look out. The large and sharp claw flew down, aiming at Naruto, who was laid down on the altar the Minato had summoned. No. Kushina wailed. The large claw impaled both Minato and Kushina. I told you, this is something a father can do. Kushina laughed. Then a mother would do even better, right? Kushina, you're not going to last much longer. I'll start the seal now. I want to put some of my chakra inside Naruto as well. You won't see him for a while, so tell him what you want to say. Minato started weakly weaving hand seals. Naruto, don't be a picky eater. Take a bath every day and keep warm. And, don't stay up late, get enough sleep. And make friends, you don't need a lot but just a few true friends that you can trust. And speaking of vices, look out for Jiraiya. Jiraiya laughed, a wheezing laugh as salty tracks dripped to the ground. Naruto, as your father, I'll just second everything your mother just said. He said over the sounds of Kushina sobbing. Kushina broke down, similarly with Minato who bit his lip so hard he drew blood. Even Hiruzen had wet eyes. I'm sorry, she gasped. Don't apologize, I went through a lot because I was the host. But I never hated you or Dad. Kushina slowly looked up at the screen. I know there was a lot of love inside me before the 9 tails. I'm happy. I'm glad you guys were my parents. Kushina was a sobbing mess now. Minato, did you hear that? Our love reached him. Minato grabbed Naruto, letting his tears drip into the blonde mess of hair. Why yeah. Thank you for being born to us. Kushina said before she vanished back, the last of her chakra finishing. I'll be even cooler than Dad. And even stronger than Mom. Naruto declared. Kushina pulled Naruto closer, the three of them sharing a hug. It seems we shall stop here for today. Please get lots of rest, and I will see you all tomorrow. Mum, can't breathe. Kushina laughed as she released him, eyes still red and puffy from crying. You're such an amazing kid. And an amazing son. Naruto gave the widest smile of